Now, I don't know if anyone else was watching, but I was doing a little dance behind the scenes there. I don't know if... I just really like that music. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the postponed, but just as good, part of the Pride Aston Villa Women podcast. We are back, of course, because we've got so much to talk about in this week, including all of the latest Aston Villa news, from press conferences to contracts. So let's get into it, shall we? Of course, this evening with me, wonderful panel as always. We've got Gary, Sophie, and Emma. How are we all?
Good.
Very well, thank you.
Yeah.
I am expecting my cat to make a cameo appearance at some point. He's been especially needy, and it's about 25 minutes from his dinner time. So
we'd best hurry up with the pod then.
I'm expecting him to come running down screaming at me.
Hey, animals, babies, will have everything on the pod. Don't worry at all. Now, we did want to start with some good news, of course. That's come out within, the last hour or so. Massive congratulations to Sophia Kelly and Rachel Maltby, who have signed their first pro contracts with the club. Yay, congratulations. We've been talking about, how important it is to bring the youth through and actually have our youngsters on the bench in and amongst the first team, not just in training, but bringing them on match days and making them feel like we do have a bench for the future. So, Gary, I'll come to you for this one because we've talked about it a lot. How fantastic is it that the club are finally starting to get these professional contracts signed so we hopefully don't lose any more youngsters?
It's something that I have been quite passionate about because we've lost so many youngsters in recent years. So it's really, really positive to see those steps forward. The youth's actually getting their chance, debuts at the weekend and professional contracts today. It bodes well if this is what Natalia's bringing in. She has spoke about that she's building for the future. And so far, things would seem positive behind the scenes anyway, and hopefully that is going to contrast onto the pitch for us in months to come,
Yeah, and that's the thing. We all said, we've got some fantastic names in our squad, but what does the future look like? Because either our youngsters are out on loan, or they've ended up being sold to different clubs, different leagues. So we don't actually have that many coming through for the future. But fingers crossed, this is the start of a new turning point for Villa. Looking in the chat there, good evening to Graham. We normally see Graham on a Wednesday, so thank you for popping over on a Friday. And friend of the pod, Connor, lurking there in the comments. Good evening to you both. Welcome all. Now, United. We were quite positive. I don't know whether rightly or wrongly, but we did say it was a rogue opportunity for a point. We held United last time. Again, to our I was going to say to our belief. No, disbelief. Hey, the opposite. To our disbelief, we did that. However, didn't quite end that way, did it? It was a bit of a demolition job in the end. But should we start with the positives? Lydia Salloway, another debut. Well, hey, another youngster coming on. So we'll start there, and then it kind of beats us off downhill. Now, it was, as cliche as it sounds, a tale of two halves. The first half, we might as well have just stayed in the dressing room, to be honest. It wasn't great because, of course, we went 3-0 down by half-time. Emma, what was it like? Obviously, you were there and then watching it back kind of a couple of days later on the highlights. That first half, just what were you thinking? How did it feel for you?
Wow, that is a question.
If you can sum it up, of course.
I don't know what I was thinking. We doing this? Why am I putting myself through this? There's just no words. Like, defensively, it was just a defensive disaster class, really. Like, I can't even say defensive disaster class. It was just a pure disaster class. Like, what on earth?
It was
going on.
Yeah, it was a bit bizarre, wasn't it? I did laugh initially because Arroyo had a new formation, and it took me until, well, I think quite a while through to realise that I was like, oh, I haven't seen Chastity for a while. BBC had her down as right back. Did we all see this? Now, Sophie, how about for you? I don't know if you dared to watch it back. But yeah, it just something was not working in that first half, was it?
No, defensively, everyone was all over the shop, I think, is kind of the vibe. There was a lot of giving people space where they shouldn't be giving people space.
We tend to be doing that a lot in most games, though, which is really frustrating.
Yeah, because we talk about not having that confidence to actually go for the ball or to keep the ball, or and if we do lose it, not being close enough to then do something about it. And it just felt like we were constantly chasing the game, didn't it? So, like I said, we won't spend too long because it's quite traumatizing. But Elizabeth Hurland, of course, as soon as she went to United, we all knew how much of a threat she could be. Scored in just after the 20-minute mark, didn't she? And you just thought, okay, 1, that's fine. 1 we can come back from. Then she did it again 10 minutes later. And you just think, okay, two's a bit harder to come back from. Then, of course, the third one we shall talk about. This was when, and again, a bit of controversy from our side, Grace Clinton gets the ball in midfield, wins it back, pulls Jill Byings' shirt, Byings goes down, and of course happens in full view of the referee, and the foul doesn't get given. Now, Gary, for you, and I know we're probably a bit biased, should that have been a foul or not, or was the referee correct?
Well, I thought you waited until full time to swap shirts. Because she was doing a hell of a job trying to put it off her back. You could see the hand like clenched, holding Jill's whole number. It's not like she had a corner or something. It was like her whole hand just claps onto her back, and it's like,
but yeah,
surely you could see that. I wear glasses, but I have regular visits to Specsavers, and the referee probably needs 1 or 2 visits themselves, because that was ridiculous. You could say it's biased, but if that happened in any other game, right in front of the referee, it's being given. It's obvious shirt pulling.
Yeah. And it was just the fact that Jill goes down on her knees, like throws her hands up. It's like, come on. But again, it's that thing of don't stop playing, you wait for the whistle. So it's hard, isn't it? Because, Graham's a Charlton fan, for those who don't know. I'm a neutral here, and it's 100% a foul. Connor did put something nice in the chat and said, really enjoy Villa Park. Always like going there. And from a United fan, it probably is a foul. But what went against Jill? What's happening with my voice tonight? What went against Jill was her reactions in all games, screaming everything is a foul. And Nick's in the chat. Nick's joining us. Let's be honest, he isn't renowned for making fair decisions. We won't comment, of course. We'll stay impartial.
Jill's not exactly known for going down easy either.
No,
you can see on her face she was fuming.
Yeah, if it was Gabby, yes, I'd understand. She falls with a gust of wind. But Jill's usually picking up yellow cards because she's the one knocking other people over. So it's just like, really?
Yeah, Jill's quite hardy, isn't she? But she gives as good as she gets. We fully know that. So I mean, maybe. But yeah, I mean, for us it was a foul all day long, and of course Clinton asked about it at the end. I don't know if people saw this on Sky Sports, and when they said, yeah, but it was a shirt pull, wasn't it? And she was like, well, yeah, you do it, don't you? She just, I mean, fair play to her for blazingly admitting it. But unfortunately, it didn't ultimately change the game, did it?
It was a fantastic strike, though.
Annoyingly, wasn't it?
Yeah, kind of have to go that. It was a great goal.
It was indeed. It was just that tiny bit of the build-up, wasn't it? But yeah, I mean, fantastic goal. Could we? I mean, this is more for Graham in the chat. Could we call it a floaty lob? But because there was a bit of power on it. But yeah, again, Sabs was a bit off her line, wasn't she? Clinton looked up, spotted it, and thought, I'll go for that. And you just think the confidence that United have got at the minute, going into the second half 3-0 down, made it nigh on impossible to come back from. Even for other teams, 3-0's a pretty decent deficit. Sophie, did you think, because we came out better in the second half, did you think we could have done anything more in that second half?
I don't think so. It's a hard one. It just feels like no one knows what a goal is anymore. Like,
it's like a mythical thing.
Yeah. Like I don't know. It's just frustrating. But they must be as frustrated as well. Like,
yeah, you can see it, can't you? See it on their face. Yeah, and I think Connor rightly says, and this is from, he says there might be a common trend because I don't watch Villa each week, but I knew as soon as we scored the first, we'd win because it looked like all of the heads dropped. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, we've said it. I mean, but we've said that for a long time, though, haven't we? We sometimes we're quite good and we put our heads down to fight, but unfortunately, some other times it's head loss. And
I don't think.
Yeah, go on.
I've mentioned this on the podcast, but I think I've mentioned it previously to some of you about. We don't really have many players, I don't think, at the minute that have been in a proper relegation, bottom of the table type team. We've got players that have come from Arsenal who are Champions League every season, and a few players that have come from the US where there's no relegation, so it kind of doesn't matter. So none of them have got that experience of not winning.
No.
Which must be difficult for them to have come from somewhere. You talk about like Lucy's, we've got however many ex-Man United players, they won the championship and then did really well at Man United. Like, even if they weren't playing in those teams, they've never been in a relegation scrap. They've always been in a promotion or a...
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And it just gets to a point where, they're all having this moment of, oh, this can actually happen. Like, this, we could actually get relegated. And then that mindset of, well, the allegiance, is it to the club? Or do I go find another team because I want to be playing Super League football? And you just think, ultimately what's going to happen? What's going to happen next? Emily in the chat, good evening. She says she's got no audio, so she's just putting her thoughts in. It's unfortunate that Noel's suspension came at this point when we could have done without yet another shuffle at the back. Yes. So that on top of everything else, I 100% agree.
That was all
we have no natural right back.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay. Emma, why don't you start?
Oh, that was all confusing with Noel because we literally found out not long before kickoff that it was because of a yellow card she picked up after the Leicester match. So why did no one know this? Like,
no, it wasn't recorded anyway, was it? So shout out to Emma Sanders who actually could research that for us and find it out. But yes,
slightly sick of the Villa fans by the end of the day because everyone was like, Emma, what's this yellow card for? Emma, why is Noel suspended? There's only 4 on record. Where's the 5th one come from?
But then people being like, well, how do you know? I've checked this website. No. Emma's got contacts. It's fine. She's doing it the legit way. It's okay.
That's like another issue we've had this season of the lack of communication from Villa, like from the club to the fans about what is going on with anything. We used to have those beautiful injury graphics. Where did they go?
I love those graphics. Yeah, if anyone from the club's watching, we used to love an injury graphic. Well, no, that sounds horrendous. We didn't used to love it. We used to appreciate the updates. There we go. That sounds much better. We appreciated an injury update. However, I will say, injury news, no new injuries. Well, hey, we've got Noel back. And of course, we've got Lucy Stan back and we've got Maz. So we're only missing Sarah and Rachel Corsi. this weekend. I do love that Natalia calls her Stan, which makes me very happy. And she's like, yes, in terms of Stan. And I'm like, yeah, we know. It's great. Just as a little caveat there.
Yeah, because last week against United, we didn't have a natural right back, I don't think, which was my original point. And then I got sidetracked by Emma talking about...
Sorry.
And then talking about Emma.
Yeah, about the fifth yellow, where the fifth yellow card came from.
Yeah, because that's the thing. So on the BBC Sport lineup, Chastity was put at right back. But then clearly she was pushed higher at some point. So I was like, oh, Chastity is there. Yeah. Because again, a bit non-existent. Now I was Emily's comment there. Paola being so high and the centre backs drifted across meant Chastity was deep. Missy Buchan's often had two players to mark and all the space it left. It was all off balance. Yes, I agree. Too many spaces and just very, very disjointed, wasn't it?
I think
go on.
Natalia's spoken a little bit about this in the pre-match, post-match, about players having more clarity about where they're supposed to be and which spaces they're supposed to pick up.
Yes. In fact, I can quote it because I was there. Bear with. She said, in the first half, we were a little bit lower than we would have wanted, and that allowed them, Man United, to find different crosses and different solutions. And we were talking about how to deal with that better. Who needs to jump into which situation and who needs to cover and go through specific situations. So essentially it doesn't happen again. They are disappointed because they want to be more competitive. So yeah, she quite nicely, I was going to say this in the lead up to the Liverpool bit, but what she said, which was quite nice, was that she wants to start Liverpool where they dropped off at Man United. So where that ended, that level, she wants to make sure that they're starting each match with that. And that's what it is. We've always said it, isn't it? Those last 10, 15 minutes, like that urgency comes back and that fight comes back. And Gary, we were talking about Maz and Lucy Parker actually being our biggest attacking threats during that match. What do you think that says about kind of the team at the moment right now and our attacking options?
It actually doesn't surprise me about Maz because he's always been more than willing to get up the pitch, put it across and take a shot. She does have a history of scoring a couple of goals. And to be fair, Lucy's actually started to chip in. She got 2 or 3 so far this season. Of the few goals that we've actually managed to score, most of them do appear to be coming from the defence. It's nice to see, but it'll be even nicer to see the goals being spread around the team and actually the midfield and quite possibly the strikers chipping in with a couple themselves.
Would be nice.
I do feel sorry for Rachel on that front, though, because since she became captain, she's been getting an awful hard time. But Rachel's always been the sort of player that would cover any part of the pitch for you. She just wants to be in the pitch and she wants to do her best. It does worry me that the captaincy's actually been a bit of a burden on her this season because she's feeling the responsibility more. And unfortunately, because we're so bad at the back, Rachel's spending so much time in our box that there hasn't been anybody up front that actually scored the goals for us.
Yeah.
Do
you think it'd be better to not get rid of her as the captain, but maybe have someone else help her shoulder that? Because I know Jill's been wearing the armband a lot, isn't she? So just think maybe that sharing more of that power, maybe because now Lucy stands back. I think
the team need to understand that. I think Lucy's very capable of stepping up. Jill's obviously stepped up. Lucy coming back is going to be huge. Corsi's still out injured, but she's around the squad. There are a lot of leaders or potential leaders there, and a lot of actually strong individuals as people and players. So I do think that it's reached the stage that it has to be a shared responsibility.
Yeah.
Some of the pressure needs to be taken off Rach because, unfortunately, we need her to be doing what her actual role is. We need her up front because everybody will take chances.
Mm.
Gabby's been a bit hit or miss. She's got a handful of goals, but more so in the cup whenever we play against Bristol than anything. And it's just we need Rates to do what Rates does best.
Yeah.
It's not defending.
No, I mean, and again, she's very good at it, but it's not where we need her, is it? We've most of the time we've got defense sorted most of the time. When it's right and they know what system they're playing. So is anyone else? I know Gary's just touched upon it there. Sophie, Emma, any other thoughts about how crucial having Lucy Stan back on the pitch will be in this last portion of the league?
Extremely. Because
One word. Yeah.
she likes to do. I don't want to say she's dirty, but she does the dirty fouls that are like on the brink of
She knows how to play
being really dirty.
system. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very clever.
Like
in the way she reads a game.
I just love how she plays. It's just so good, and that leadership role as well, because she's one of our older players, but she's got a lot of experience. Yeah, she just always just goes down and gets back up. I just love that. Like, we need a bit of that. None of this like cough cough Gabby goes down and stays down.
But Lucy's clearly going to be a fantastic role model for Jill because Jill's probably pushing the brink, and that's why she's picking up so many yellow cards. But if she can learn from an experienced player like Lucy, it's only going to help improve her game even more. And Jill has been probably one of the shining lights in our season.
Yeah. No,
Lucy is definitely a master of perhaps the dark arts of. Was it maybe against Brighton where she started something, got the other player to get a yellow card, and then walked off like she hadn't been involved at all?
Yes, that was perfect. Didn't that lead to? Yeah, was it Poppy
Pattinson, maybe.
Poppy Pattinson getting a yellow, and it was actually Lucy that started. Yes, that's exactly what we need, and that's the thing. She knows exactly how to play it, and that skill, that experience, we've been missing. And you just think, oh, if she hadn't been injured, imagine what the difference could have been.
Same with Jill though as well. If she hadn't been injured the first half of the season,
I know.
Oh, could you imagine?
Just even that mentality change of having those people as options on the pitch, and because obviously we know that they're and what they can give off the pitch, but just having them in and amongst it, I think we're really gonna see that difference. So in the second half, then just the one goal. So actually, could we say we did improve because we only let one in? Compared to 3. And this was, of course, Leah Galton converting Melvin Mallar's pass cross into the box. Should I say? Sorry, that sounds much better than pass, doesn't it? There was a moment. We had a couple of moments, didn't we? So Jordan, of course, her strike went just wide. We also had Lucy drove forward. Maz had a go. But again, it was all in those last 10-15 minutes.
Was the one, and I might be imagining this and I've not watched the highlights, so I apologise if this is something I've entirely made up. Was the one where they were arguing that it might have crossed the line at one point? Or did I make that up entirely?
Is that not Crystal Palace?
I know there was one at Crystal Palace, but I feel like there was one at Villa Park as well. But I might have imagined it. I might have made it up entirely.
You know what? I don't know.
It
will have been in the last 20 minutes because they're the only shots on target we had. So,
did I write about it? I didn't write about it, so you'd think maybe I would have said something.
I probably imagined it. Probably made it up. I've made a lot of things up recently.
I mean, it sounds good, doesn't it? Well, we can say we had a shot ruled out. Yeah, of course you can. Now, but you.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, there was definitely one at Crystal Palace.
A lot of the losses are just blurring into one at this point.
It's like, was it that time we lost, or was it that one, or did we? What happened? Stats wise, just to make ourselves feel even worse, United had 19 shots compared to Villa's 11. So it wasn't that we weren't having shots; they just weren't on
very
target.
good.
Only 11, because I'm reading that again. Only three were on target. Imagine that, 11 shots, 11 on target, and still nothing. So just to confirm, because I made a right pig's ear of that. United had 19 shots, 8 on target. We had 11 shots and 3 on target. Tullis Joyce had to save 3 shots. Sabs had to save 4. So yeah, it was just a bit rubbish that first half. But unfortunately, we just gave ourselves too much to do in that second half, and there just wasn't a chance of getting back. Connor rightly saying, of course, our 4th goal was a work of art, if I do say so myself. Midfielders involved, great hold up, good cross, and a finish. Yeah, can't take anything away from it. It didn't change the results. But yeah, it was. And United, again, have got a confidence, haven't they, that I wish we could just have a little bit of in front of goal going forward. So yeah, it wasn't the outing we expected. It certainly wasn't the outing we planned, and certainly didn't do much for confidence wise. That was already pretty short, wasn't it? Before this game. So going to the league then, we are still 1 point above Palace, because thankfully they also lost this weekend against Everton. Wahey. Now, we weren't going to talk about it, but Connor's asked us to. Intrigued to hear the Villa fan thoughts on Turner's tackle on Bizet. I mean, we love Dan Turner. It wasn't malicious. It just badly timed, unfortunately. Anyone got any thoughts on that one?
Defense, personally.
No, it was a strong
and I think I think the main cause of her pain was she landed on a hip as well. So obviously, if you land on bone, and she landed up on quite some force, so I can understand why she was in quite a bit of pain. But I think the foul itself, because I'm sure she got the ball as well. Like maybe a teeny tiny bit, maybe not like the whole ball, but
that's not there. Okay, yeah. I remember seeing it going, oh, that'll have hurt.
Yeah,
but I didn't think it was a red. I just think it was really unlucky, and just really, really mistimed. Yeah. Anyone else got any thoughts on that one? Because I know Skinner was, of course, very aggrieved. Yeah, but then he said afterwards, I think, he wasn't angry at Dan Turner. He was angry at
the decision.
Or what had happened, or because he knows Dan Turner isn't malicious, so it wasn't it. I don't know. Yeah, Connor said, looking back, it's not a red, but it's clear she's going for the ball. It's just a bit naughty. The landing was worse than the tackle. Yeah. Just mistimed. Yeah, yellow. And Dan Turner just been like, oh, sorry. Did not mean it at all. So yeah. That was it. I mean, typical Dan Turner. Going for the ball.
It's not like, have you seen one of the American players, Merritt something? Oh, I've forgotten her name now. About the ACL injury when Rachel Daly knocked her, and she was like, my ACL didn't tear, someone tore it for me, and like proper laid into Rachel Daly.
Yeah, I remember that. And it was like, oh, okay. Now, so we did finish, of course, 4-0. Well done, United, I suppose. Now, United are in second. We are 1 point above the bottom that Crystal Palace currently occupy. Now, we've said, and we mentioned earlier on, that we want more communication from the club, just to kind of set the fans' mind at ease that they're aware of the situation. So after the game, and I'm just getting it up now, Lucy Parker, wonderful Lucy Parker, posted an Instagram post, and this 4 days ago, so Monday, maybe. And she says, yes, we're in a tough time. We are struggling. It's hard and it's heavy, but we're fighting every day. It's impossible to explain how it feels if you're not in it, carrying it, working through it every single day. There are no excuses for our performances. The season has been in no way what we expected and demanded of ourselves and our ability. That has been the hardest thing to take. We are a very good team with incredibly talented players. It's far from over, and we will continue to fight to turn this around. It's hard to find the right words, but I feel we owe it to you. I can only say sorry, and please stick with us. Up the Villa. And then Villa reshared it, saying fighting words. Gary, was that needed? That acknowledgement of what's going on?
Yes. There's been very little that's sort of been coming from the club. So to have one of the most respected players in the squad actually just come out, be open and honest, and you could see how many members of the squad have also came out and sort of commented on it and, hearted it and sort of supported the words that Lucy had sort of said. It shows that the majority of the squad are clearly feeling the pain. It's not just the supporters that are feeling the pain. The players are the ones that are probably most aware of the situation. They know where they are. Kind of what we've already said. It's somewhere that they've never really been before either. Sitting there, it's pain that they've never felt before, and the honest words were definitely needed. I think the fans needed to hear it more than anything.
Yeah.
But the fact that the players have now came out, they've said it, they're supporting each other. There's a lot of fighting still to be done. As we've said, like every game is now a cup final.
Yeah.
But we've also spoke a lot tonight about confidence. And in recent weeks, I'd been really worried after the Crystal Palace match as to whether or not Sab's confidence was going to be at a low.
Yeah.
Despite the scoreline against United, Sab's actually put in a solid performance and pulled off some pretty good saves. It could have been a lot worse. And I like seeing that. Heads haven't dropped completely. The effort's there. Everybody's still fighting. Seeing Maz coming back and how much she's fighting. Lucy's fighting words. Stanleyford coming back. A lot of these are things that we've needed to see. We just need that break. We would just need to have that little bit of luck because we have kind of just had shit luck in some of the games, pardon my French, but sometimes that's what you need. You just need that break to get that goal. And, the players are all capable of scoring. Maybe they just need to see one or two go over the line and you're going to see the confidence start to increase. And, hopefully it's all stemmed from sort of Lucy's words this week that it's helped light an extra fire. We've heard the players are spending more time together, more time talking, more open and honesty, around the squad and how they're all feeling. And it's largely what you want to hear. That they're feeling the pain. It's not just us. And everybody wants to see the results on the pitch. And for that, I believe the will come. Will it come against Liverpool this weekend after their previous defeat? Who knows? But I genuinely believe that the way we finished against United and knowing the quality in the team, and they know the quality that's in the team, anything's possible. It's football. Football's a funny old game.
It is indeed. The Villa Revenge Tour has started. Because Lucy's not the only one to come out and talk about how things are going. Sophie, I know you listen to, is it Pitch to Pod
Yeah.
podcast with Jordan Nobbs and the Key to Paris on it. Jordan was talking about Villa, wasn't she, and how it's not great at the minute.
Yeah, she was talking about Lucy's post. It was brought up, and they were talking about how they're struggling. They're not. She said like a lot of them aren't used to being in this position. Like confidence is not great, and it's just a difficult time. And she's like, you don't know what it's like until you're there and you're in that team and you're struggling.
Yeah,
You can't seem to be able to buy a goal.
And it's hard, isn't it? Because, they're struggling on the pitch. You can tell they're struggling, mentally as well, emotionally. And that frustration then can't be good for anyone. But we saw as well, Lucy Stan had arranged for them to go playing golf, didn't she, on that as well. And we were even saying last week, they never go out together anymore. Like, in past seasons, they were always out for dinner. They were always like doing, here, there and everywhere. But it was so nice to see them just, again, going out and enjoying something off the pitch, away from football and like having that team building moment. So, yeah, Emma, do you think that's got to be good, right? Getting them all back together and building that bond again.
Yeah, because the atmosphere feels very like disjointed with the players. It literally feels like it is single players on that pitch, and even like during warm up and things like that, they are one player. They're not a team. Like it doesn't feel like a collective anymore. So hopefully, them like out together again will rebuild those bonds. They can kind of, in a sense, get to know each other again.
Yeah, in this new situation, get to read. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, because again, anything that's going to help them, why not at this point? Because as Gary said, they need something. They need a bit of luck and just something to go their way. Because again, people have said from the beginning, you aren't playing badly. Okay, now we've had a couple of performances that weren't great, but it was never, oh, you're playing terrible, you deserve to be there. It was, but you're playing well. Why is it not going your way? So, looking ahead to the weekend, of course, to Sunday. All WSL games on Sunday this time. I
have decided to work a Mother's Day shift in hospitality rather than suffer through Villa's performance on Sunday.
Wow.
You've given up already. Yeah, so I've booked tickets. I'm actually going to see Nottingham Forest Women versus Hull City on Sunday. I completely forgot it was Mother's Day. So I was like, yeah, I got some tickets. And so me and Georgie are going to go out on Monday.
Your first ever Mother's Day and you completely forgot about it.
I forgot because it's not a thing. Because it's not something I'm used to. But no, we've made other arrangements. We're going out on Monday. It's all good. Don't worry.
Fine, because Mother's Day is not a great. It's a bit like Valentine's Day,
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want to be surrounded by loads of no, absolutely.
So you're going out on Monday because everything will be half price.
Exactly. Yes. The best day in the world, the day after Valentine's Day where everything's half price. Yes.
Exactly what my girlfriend does, brings me home the half price Valentine's Day flowers the day after.
Hey, it's cost effective and thoughtful, so it's okay.
Absolutely.
It's funny because it's become I feel like this needs more explanation though before people think my girlfriend's just a proper cheapskate. It's just that it's she always, when she goes shopping, she always buys flowers. And she went shopping the day after Valentine's Day and brought home flowers. And I was like, with the like half price Valentine's Day. And I was like, this is really cute because you always buy me flowers when you go shopping. And it's really funny because of the half price Valentine's Day ones.
The extra pink tulips and roses in the bouquet with like glitter on it. Oh, thanks. Oh, the Valentine's Day ones.
But that's good for the economy and it saves waste. And, I think it's
in the world of favour.
It's just a pioneer.
I love it. I think it's great. I'm like, yes, let's go shopping on the day after Valentine's Day and get all the half-price chocolates.
Now I was just looking at it. The clocks go forward.
Oh,
Does that mean I get
That's
less
ruined
sleep?
my
It does, doesn't
evening.
it?
Thanks,
Oh
Graham.
no.
yeah. I think that's this. I think
I'll
this
have
is
to-
the last
I'll have to
sleep.
go
It's
bed
the
at
1
like-
hour less.
Oh no.
I don't know why we still do this. This is like, why do the clocks still change? Like,
It's like time has done enough. Like let's just
we
leave
have
it.
indoor lighting now and outdoor lighting. Tractors have headlamps now.
All
But
of us don't work in the fields anymore. It's fine. We don't have to be at sunrise.
Well, they do work in the fields, but half of it's robots and the other half is floodlit. It's fine.
But come Sunday, whenever the clocks go forward and it's the start of a new season, Phil are just going to kick into life,
We hope.
Maybe that's it. Maybe we just need the
We'll
clock
be
to
springing
change.
forward.
Absolutely, we're springing forward.
We're springing forward. We're not falling back. Hey.
Maybe they're like my cat who's solar powered.
Yes. Perfect. Solar powered villa. In fact, I'm just going to make a note of that because that was really good. Well done, everyone. I enjoyed that. Graham, however, isn't worried. Villa will be fine. Palace have a much tougher run in. So I think having the extra point and goal difference in our favour too could do it. I'm absolutely manifesting a Palace relegation. Again, Graham is a Charlton fan.
I will say I'm very glad Crystal Palace have Arsenal on Sunday with how they've been playing recently.
I know.
Less glad we've also still got to face them.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, but at home we can definitely win.
Yeah, but yeah, we're at home. I mean, for most teams, that's a good thing. I wouldn't necessarily say we've done our best performances.
Because we know Arsenal
Yeah,
can't play.
we
on
just-
We've not won at Bescott either in like however long. Like we won in the cup game against Bristol, but
and
like,
Brighton.
And that was a great night.
yeah, and against Brighton.
And against Brighton. See, I mean, the pitch is awful, but if we could just transport the pitch to Bescott, I think that would solve everything.
Yeah, but then Arsenal can play on that because Arsenal can't play on bad pitches, remember?
No,
They need to play on
I
a bad
completely
pitch.
agree. Well, Arsenal can't play on a bad pitch, so we need to go to the Bescott.
I think we should come up with an issue at Villa Park that they can't play there. Get everyone to Bescott. Done.
Bombsker and B6.
Oh God, no. Just
For
put it out
legal
there,
reasons, that
don't
was a joke, Gary.
Yeah, it was a
Absolutely.
joke. Don't condone.
It's these suspicious packages. It was a car that had been taxed.
Yeah, out of context podcast. Hey, Graham, don't take the mick out of the sponsor of the Bescott. Thank you.
And again,
No
the pitch
one
does
can-
look like it's from Poundland, so
I mean, yeah, you can't.
I do believe there was also one game last season where they were selling discount beer because it had gone out of date.
oh, I love that.
I mean, that just says everything, doesn't it?
That is so.
Good old Bescott. Good
Still
old-
wet, still contains alcohol. Can't see many people complaining.
No, hey, cheap alcohol. Done. No, we do. We've got a lot of love for the Bescott, haven't we? Now, unfortunately, we're not
Posts,
Bescott.
they can get in the bin. I mean, they're probably holding the roof up, but the posts are awful.
Posts
Yeah.
are awful. Toilets are awful. Oh yeah, like the actual facilities of the Bescott are awful. Atmosphere-wise, cracking. The atmosphere. We will just say that. And Nick's in the chat. Bescott chips.
Their ketchup's good as well. I feel like it's just bog standard ketchup, but it is so good.
Tastes even better than the
Bescott.
chips. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Trying to get out of the car park afterwards is hell, though.
I was going to say, guys, what side are we on here?
The parents where you get the park, the staff have always looked after me, so I end up in one of the spaces where I'm one of the first ones out.
Oh,
Have you got a fancy blue badge by any chance, Gary?
No, but I drive a big ass van that takes up more than the standard space, so they go, you can just park over there, sir. It's like, thanks very much.
Right. So next game, we're all going with Gary. We're all getting in the van.
You can now have a crew cab. I actually have back seats.
Exciting. Well, let's do that then. Right, everyone around Gary's for the next match. Done. Now then, yes. So this weekend, unfortunately, we're not at the Best Scott. We're away to Liverpool, going to Merseyside. And just to confirm from earlier, Noel is back from suspension and no new injuries. Well, hey, we're good. We've got Lucy Stan back. We've got Maz back.
I think Lucy's still on reduced minutes by the sounds of it.
Yes, still on reduced minutes.
Much to Lucy Stan's annoyance from the sounds of it.
Yes. So yeah, I had the pleasure of speaking to Natalia earlier. Let's have a look. She said, so I asked about having Lucy Stan back and kind of the impact of having her experience, her quality back. And she said, yeah, it's really good. Same as having Maz again. So she was bringing Maz back into it, really bigging her up. She was disappointed that Lucy got injured the game before she'd arrived, so she didn't get a chance to really see her. She said, when we've got more options, of course, it's always better, more opportunities to build what's best for the team. In the case of Stan, back to Stan, it has to do with specific skills and a specific position that help us to put all the players in their proper roles, so we don't have to ask some players to do things they're not natural at doing. But we do need to be a bit patient. We can't ask her to give everything now because she was injured. We can't put all the pressure on her, but she will help us. She'll make us stronger, and she's fighting. She's training well. She's asking for more and more. We're trying to manage her so that she can be ready and not risk it. But she's a good asset for the team. We're stronger with her, and we need to be as strong as possible. And then she said, hopefully we'll have Rachel and Sarah back with us soon so they can feel like they're all together in this moment, which was quite nice. But yeah, it sounds like she's going, yeah, just give us an extra 10 minutes. Go on. Yeah, just a bit more. In fact, let's start. Let's do that. But we need to keep her safe as long as possible, don't we? So yeah, from the pre-match, it seems like they're very aware of the situation, that they're taking lots of things into consideration, that training is very much, yes, having those individual conversations with players, but about looking at lots of different eventualities so we don't look as much as deer in headlights and lost and disjointed, that she's trying really hard to make sure everyone knows what they're doing and that they're confident in that. Did anyone, I know we all kind of saw it, heard it, read it from different bits. Was there anything that we liked from that pre-match that anyone wanted to talk about? Because
I really like her pre-matches and her post-matches. I think she talks really well.
Yeah.
I think she seems pretty keyed into the team.
Yeah.
I think she also said about the performances improved, like she wants them to get better, like the players to improve constantly, which...
Yes, because I asked her about it and I said, yes, getting a result is a priority, getting the points, but what else would success look like this weekend? Would it be, is it an improved performance? Is it, showing that growth? And she said, yeah, 100%. I wish this sport wasn't about results all of the time. My big goal is, of course, winning and, if possible, fight for bigger goals. But what I really enjoy every day is that the players are getting better. And as a team and not repeating the same mistakes. These are the kinds of things that make my job more exciting. I also
think she mentioned that a few times about them not making the same mistake twice.
Yeah.
And learning from mistakes.
Yeah, and she wants to have the tools, doesn't she, to kind of be able to do something better than they couldn't do previously. Sorry, Gary, what did you say?
I said so far so good.
So far so good, yeah. There was another bit. Yeah, she said, the issue is that we need to be better with, like we said earlier about in different situations, who needs to jump in where, and about, each shape has its own strengths and weaknesses. And it's not just about the structure, it's how they move. Because at the end of the day, when United were man marking, so it was less of a structure, it wasn't about the shape, it was about the one-on-one duels and about the ball movement and being brave and that kind of thing. So it's getting all the players to understand that it's not just, well, we're setting up like this, keep it. It's okay, read the game, have some initiative, be brave, be confident with it.
I think,
and like you said, yeah, go on.
Say about the structure being kind of like a framework rather than a fixed, like a guide rather than a rule.
Yeah, that always reminds me of Pirates of the Caribbean, where they talk about the pirate code being more like guidelines. Guidelines and actual rules. But yeah, no, it's absolutely right. You need to be able to have, and I've just seen Nick there talking about Natalia's technical understanding of football. And it's about, and again, teacher brain coming in. It's not just about kind of what you read, it's what you can infer and how you can go between the lines and really look into it. And I think that's that intelligence of play, isn't it? Which sets different teams apart and different players apart. So if she's teaching them and they're being quite receptive and they're taking that on board, then hopefully, this can only be a good thing, can't it? But no, she says the bit I was looking for was, she said about Liverpool, they're performing well, they're getting good results, they've showed how physical and strong they can be, and that she acknowledged it's going to be difficult. She's fully aware of that. But she said they've also got their weaknesses and we're going to try and expose them. We will try to be as close as our second half against Man United as possible, and let's see if we can restart the game from there and be able to put them into difficulties. They are strong, they're in a better position than us, with bigger confidence, but I feel we are ready and we also have our strengths. So let's see how it goes. So she's very much confident in the team's abilities of what they're showing during the week in training, what they can do. And yeah, she knows that if they leave it like a 3-0 at half time against United, she's like, but that's impossible. We need to be in the game from the beginning, keep that scoreline as low as possible. So at all times, we're fighting every minute to get back into the game. So I really like her, and I really, really do. And again, you think if she was here in September, she was here in the summer, what different position we would have been in. But yeah, it is all positive, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
She's saying, how she's coming across. So yeah, all good on the pre-match front. What are our hopes and expectations for the weekend? So we've heard from what Natalia thinks. We know the players are hopefully going to come out fighting and do us proud. Gary, what are your hopes and expectations for this weekend?
For me, a goal or two.
Yeah.
We're not expecting to beat Liverpool,
No.
but for the team confidence, genuinely think a goal or two is going to help us go into the other games where we maybe can grab 1 point, 3 points. It's not expecting much against Liverpool. That this is a team that, all right, they lost last week, but they did embarrass Man United themselves just a matter of weeks ago. So we know what we're up against. That they're not going to be any pushover side, but from our own progression, I would like to see even just one goal, something that's going to give a striker a bit of confidence, give a midfielder a bit of confidence, something that's like, we do know where the back of the net is.
Yeah.
For me, that would be a good step forward.
No, that sounds. And again, we've got to use this match as like a stepping stone now, haven't we? Of going, right, this is it. This is where we build from. Sophie, how about you? Hopes and expectations?
I would like to see a more cohesive team. That as a sort of like, because there's been a lot of like disconnect and frustration and sort of. So I'd like the team to look a bit more like a team and not 11 individual players. Which might be a big ask, but
But it would be a start, wouldn't it? it would be, again, that step in the right direction
Yes,
forward to
this-
what we can be.
Start of the season, our back line looked so in sync with each other.
Yeah.
And they've just fallen apart a little bit. I'd like to see some more of that, them being back in sync with each other.
Yeah. I'm sure there's an NSYNC song to go with that. We'll have a think.
Definitely.
And Emma, how about you for this weekend? Hopes and expectations.
Again, I want to see us like be together and kind of work together and communicate on the pitch. And oh, there was something else. This like just hold it at the back, because possession doesn't give you points. I swear I say this every single week, but like just passing it through the back line isn't going to get us anywhere. Like, we need to start driving forward. A goal again would be really nice. So just togetherness, driving forward, and a goal, maybe 2. Maybe score first as well, because I feel like at the moment we're just coming back from like a consolation goal because we've been battered, and then a goal would be nice. But maybe score first, or maybe score when we're not like 3-0 down like we were against Crystal Palace.
Yeah, so keeping up and competing, not chasing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as well a bit of calmness in front of goal. I think everyone's so stressed about not getting a goal that they're sort of panicking about it and snatching, and the shots are then awful. It's like in a
shooting in the vague direction of, like, rather than thinking about it. Yeah. It's a bit like those like the old school games where like it would go from side to side and you had to press it at the right time to then shoot it into the goal or something like that. It feels very much right, the goal's that way, like, oh, I'll take my chance, oh, it's gone. And it, some of them, some have been off the crossbar, and some have been really close, but the majority, you're absolutely right, have just been like desperate attempts, haven't they, rather than proper shots. So yeah.
But then that's because they're usually coming in the last 10, 15 minutes as well.
Exactly. So they're trying to get it in the time frame, and unfortunately just not going their way. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good. Graham, 1-1. Yes, perfect. Let's have that. I would love that. I would be over the moon with a 1-1. Nick's saying it's like pinball in the box. No, 100%. And it's.
I'd be happy with a draw. A draw would be better than nothing.
Well, a draw's a point, and just
Exactly.
every single point at this point.
And points mean prizes.
Points mean staying up in the Super League. Yeah. But no, that's the thing. All we can hope for is a better performance than we got against United. Step in the right direction. No expectations to win, but a point would be ultimately phenomenal. Yes, 100%. Right then. But of course, this is the last match before the international break. We've had most teams announced now. So I hope I've got everyone. Sabs is off for Canada. Kirsty's been called up for Scotland. Maz for the Philippines. Chastity for the Netherlands. Sadly, no Jill. Patsy for Ireland. Noelle for Switzerland. And for England, Lisa Parker for the seniors. Missy Buckhearns, Katie Robinson, and a first call-up for the under-23s for Georgia Mullet as well. I think that's everyone.
Training player for the under-19s.
Yes, and Sophia being one of the training keepers. Yes, well done. Well done, you. Do you think it's international break has come at the right time to give them a bit more of a reset? Or do we think actually we could have gotten into a bit of a rhythm?
I think that's hard to predict until after the Liverpool game.
Yeah, okay.
I think
Depends
it could
how
be
this weekend goes.
I think in recent weeks, what the players have taken a bit of a battering, between the result against Crystal Palace and the result against United. We won't speak about this weekend, but I think the players need a break.
Yeah.
And Genuinely, I would just love to see the club take them somewhere warm and sunny, not even for warm climate training,
Lads trip
just
to
to
Ibiza.
chill off out. Yes, everybody to Ibiza.
Yeah, sure. Sure, playing journey.
Go have a few orange
Or
juices
take
on the
another
beach.
page out of Ted Lasso and take everybody to Amsterdam. Just somewhere where the players can actually relax
And
and
switch off.
try and take their mind away from the shit show of the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think new environment, have a break, switch off from football if possible, and just really, once we come back from the break, really, really go for it because we have Spurs when we get back.
We also haven't won a game all season yet, so
Hey,
not all
season.
since January. Sorry,
Since January, yeah. Imagine if they hadn't won a game all season. That put us in a better position. But yeah,
The people of Palace
hey,
would have a wee bit more breathing room, wouldn't it?
yeah, we would. And again, Spurs are in a bit of a free fall at the minute as well. So we said, that could possibly be another point there for us. So we did put down 0 against Liverpool, but we shall see what happens at the weekend. Now, I think that's pretty much everything I had to go through. Did anyone else have any key points, thoughts, feelings they'd like to share before we go? We've done it quite quick tonight.
Surprisingly, I have 2.
What? Are you called Emily?
Only on the weekends. We haven't quite got there yet. This time tomorrow, I'll be wearing a frock.
And beautiful you would look too.
Last season, Alicia got a lot of abuse because she maybe wasn't always performing on the pitch.
Yes.
I must say, I think we've actually missed her behind the scenes because whenever we're talking about the things that the players done together, Alicia was actually usually at the heart of a lot of that.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that.
Shani as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was at the heart of a lot of that. You always seen her with Maz and Kenza, and there was always like Rach and Sarah would come along, and there was a whole lot of that. Although Alicia maybe wasn't playing every week, wasn't scoring as much as she had in previous seasons, there's a little bit of me thinking that was she kind of a bit of the glue that was helping hold some things together.
Yeah, because she was very social, wasn't she? And had, I don't know, maybe the way she was as outgoing and as social, maybe that helped the others to do that. Whereas without those key figures, like we said, as soon as Rusha left as well, that was a massive change in the back room.
I think
as well.
Rusha's one of them people that doesn't let anyone take anything too seriously.
Yeah.
No.
I think
Could you imagine if we had her now?
Oh, should be. I think she would be incredible because we wouldn't let any of them get too in their heads. She'd probably fight them if they did. She just wouldn't let it get to that point, would she?
She would be organising a lads' trip to Ibiza.
Oh yeah,
she would be.
100%. So yeah, Rusha, if you are watching and you can just help them out a little bit with getting the heads out of it, that'd be fantastic. But you need those big personalities, don't you? To even if it's get your mind off it for 10 minutes, it's better than nothing. But yeah, okay, Gary, that was one.
The second one is actually another big personality. But if I'm right, Maz is in the squad this time and can actually be selected to play.
Yes.
But this will be Maz's potential first cap. If she gets playing and actually plays well, how much of a buzz is she going to bring back with her? Which I think is another thing that the international break is maybe coming at a good time.
No.
Because there could be positives that are brought back from international duties, especially something like your first cap.
Yeah, And I think, I mean, she's in prime position to come on, isn't she? I'm just going to have a look at who they're playing and where. Oh, okay. They're playing against a doubleheader against the United Arab Emirates. And they're traveling out to the United Arab Emirates to do that. So there we go. So yeah, so a bit of a journey, annoyingly. But
UAE is not too bad though. Like it's like what 6 hours.
Egypt was 5 when I went. So yeah, 6 maybe. So yeah, so not Australia, but still quite a journey. But like Gary said, if she's getting that confidence of playing.
Oh, I'm wrong. It is a 10-hour with a stop.
What?
Ab with the stop. There we go. 10 hours. Well, hopefully she gets the direct one if she can. If she can go direct. But yeah, no, that confidence she get would be phenomenal. Yeah. So I hope she does. I hope she does get a first cap.
She deserves it.
She definitely deserves it for everything that she's done, quality wise. So, any other thoughts before we're off?
I think that's it.
I don't think
Silence from the crowd. There we go. Right. We'll leave that there then, everyone. Right. Well, thank you so much to everyone who is watching and listening, watching on catch up. I've had a few people message to say that they'll be watching back later on. So yeah, so we do face Liverpool on Sunday. And all we can hope for is that the team show up, that they do us proud, they fight, and ultimately, we just do our best and hopefully fight for survival. And Connor is very lovely. Great show, as I said to Fro in our preview last week. Keep up the great work. It's really good to see club-specific shows like this and consistently do it as well. We had a little chat saying that not a lot of clubs actually put out a club-dedicated podcast, especially weekly. There's only a couple of us, so we need to keep fighting and we need to keep showing up. And final bit of news for Graham. It's his birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday to Graham tomorrow.
Happy birthday.
Hope Otto treats you well. Otto, for those that don't know, is Otto Correct, who Emma, as we know, suffers from greatly in all of her messages. And she does
about that recently
on a Wednesday. So yes, for those who don't know, we talk about Villa here. I also host a women's football show on a Wednesday as well. And yes, we have a lot of fun there for more general women's football. So we will leave it there. But thank you so much for everyone for tuning in. We will be back next Thursday as normal. Normal at 8:00, and we'll see you then. Hopefully we'll come back with some really good news versus Liverpool. So yeah, thank you, good evening, and goodbye.